Hello, I'm Cavassier the goddamn Newt. Boxing held the sporting world's attention for the second time in less than a month when Canelo Alvarez faced Gennady Golovkin on Saturday night. Apparently, the boxing industry just can't have nice things. Give them too much attention or credibility and they will shit all over themselves and their fans every goddamn time. Canelo and Triple G put on one hell of a fight. Both men surprised and I would say surpassed expectations. I believe this was the best fight of Canelo's career. He showed real heart and drive. Golovkin proved when he doesn't knock fools out with tortuous body blows or concussive headshots, he's an elite pure boxer capable of outclassing Alvarez or anyone else. Sadly for boxing, when the scores were read, 2 of the 3 judges proved themselves to be corrupt or incompetent, the end result being a draw that even hardcore Canelo fans booed vociferously. In the aftermath of the fight, I received many requests to analyze the post-fight press conference, including Bones11 over on the Twitters who provided a link. If you would like a clip analyzed, let me know in the comment section or over on the Twitters. This is Bob Bennett, Executive Chairman of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, directly after the fight.
Michael Montero again. I'm sorry, I'm going to be a broken record. This question's for Mr. Bob Bennett. Same question.
Reporter Michael Montero is pushing the issue, trying to make someone accountable.
Sir, with all due respect, we've had several controversial scores here in Nevada in recent years. Rarely anything is done. Obviously, this was not a 10 rounds to 2 fight. This was a close fight. Neither fighter won more than 7 or 8 rounds. Is there going to be anything done about Judge Adalaide Byrd? Will there be an investigation? Maybe you'll sit down with her, watch the fight again, have her rescore it. What's the plan here?
Big props to Montero for having the guts to stick with it while the rest of the media shirked their responsibilities decades ago. He grabs the mic first thing. He doesn't know fuck all about audio equipment. This is taking control. He's showing authority. Bob Bennett casually leans on the lectern, projecting that he's at ease. Bennett's countenance is impassive. Eye contact gives appearance of serious and measured consideration of the question. He's controlled, not surprising coming from a former member of the FBI. Let's look at Oscar De La Hoya, the promoter of the fight. Soon as the reporter says, rarely anything is done, a panoply of nervous gestures begin. First, pressing his lips, self-soothing to relieve stress. He's in full-blown freak-out mode. An extreme amount of licking his lips and tonguing the corners of his mouth. Then we're back to pressing lips, but much more dramatic. Very, very high levels of stress here. His eyebrows are raised and held up. He wants to know Bennett's opinion. More mouth reaction. He's pursing his lips. This is uncertainty. And biting the inside of his lips, which may just be stress or it's an indication there are specific things he doesn't want Bennett to say here. When Oscar hears Bennett start talking, he swallows hard. This is what he's worried about. That Bennett will say something that complicates De La Hoya's life in some very substantial way.
Again, have her rescore it. What's the plan here?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate both fighters.
Bennett doesn't like being put on the spot like this. Dismissal, turns his head away, gives a frown, then a quick condescending smirk, puffs out his chest and adjusts the mic again. This guy's all authority and control.
I think the fight was very competitive. Why don't you just be patient for a second instead of waving your hands? You're asking me a question. I take full responsibility and accountability for my team.
He's being confrontational with Montero here, trying to put him in his place, show who's in control.
Adalaide Byrd has had over 115 championship fights or elimination bouts. Unfortunately, tonight, she didn't do well. She was off her mark.
He adjusts that mic again, stutters over the phrase.
Unfortunately, tonight, she didn't do well.
He tries to be declarative with the strong downward head nods, looks and points to the reporter to show he's addressing the issue, but he has to look away. Gives 2 shoulder shrugs, but he doesn't have corresponding eyebrow raise or other appropriate gestures. Bennett knows she was off her mark, but he doesn't want the commission's dirty laundry aired in public, so he's not emotionally connected to Byrd's strange performance as judge.
Well, I beg to differ with you. If you go ahead and look at her last 3 years, for every fight that she's had, you will find that she's very close to scoring every fight correctly.
Bob Bennett stumbles for words. He grabs the mic again. Major stutter.
Find that she's very close to scoring every fight correctly.
Wants to say very consistent, but knows that isn't true. Changes to very close.
She's very close to...
With palms up and a head tilt, like he's appealing to the public to see how fair he is. So what's old Bob saying here? She's close to, scoring every fight correctly? Really, Bob? That's what you're going with? Talk about killing with faint praise. Sheesh.
She's very close to scoring every fight correctly.
He can't stop himself from shaking his head no to this. Bob doesn't believe what he just said. Tries to put it back on the reporter, but is nervous to do so.
I have looked at her record over the last 3 years. I've got the records from Fight Facts. So if you've looked at them, then you tell me if I'm wrong.
Licks his lips just before challenging the reporter.
Is there a plan to work with some of these judges to find out what they're missing that millions of other people are seeing? Because neither fighter won more than 8 rounds tonight.
Ooh, Bobby doesn't like that. He's taken enough from this guy, and he bares his teeth quickly.
A lot of people here are scared to say what I'm saying. I might lose a press credential for the rematch for saying this.
Thinks about it and gives a concentrated frown like, yeah, you could totally lose your press credentials over this.
I'm doing my job because a lot of people want me to ask these questions that a lot of people here are scared to ask. I just want to know what will be done. Is there a plan?
Yeah, of course there's a plan.
Now he's dancing on his toes, trying to dodge the question and evade responsibility.
I'll go over the fight with Adalaide round by round. She'll have to articulate to me what she saw, how she saw it, why she scored each round the way she did, and then we'll continue to move forward from there.
He's being honest about this. His body movement agrees with his words. Finally, Bob Bennett says the full truth.
Unfortunately, and I'm responsible for it, that, Adalaide had a bad night. Adalaide had a bad night.
Adalaide had a bad night. Then clamps his mouth shut. He gave the concession. He won't let himself give another.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Not at all. My pleasure. I should be asked those questions.
He looks away and shakes his head no. That ain't true. He doesn't believe he should be held accountable by the public or a lowly reporter. He's accountable to the governor of Nevada. That's who he feels a responsibility toward, no one else. All right, that's what I see. Nothing will change in boxing until they're held accountable. With Canelo versus Triple G, boxing had the opportunity to entice a large number of lapsed boxing fans back into the fold. These are the fight fans who proudly supported boxing until about the early 90s, when inept judging, patty cake point fighters, and a refusal of the best to fight the best caused the sport to massively hemorrhage fans. Once again, short-term gains triumph over long-term stability and legitimacy. Ultimately, this means the fans and fighters lose. Boxing's in danger of becoming just an exhibition, a performance art, not true sport. Up next is episode 2 in the Jon Jones saga. Mr. King Godzilla and Alexander Thompson Bear linked to a short clip of Jones trying to implicate himself with steroid use. We'll get into the tells and gestures of Jon Jones, but even deeper into the psychological analysis of his specific behaviors and various persona. If you enjoy what's going on here, tickle that like button. Help guide this channel to become its best. Subscribe and comment, or hit me up over on the Twitters. Remember, this isn't supposed to be easy.